Jennifer, Saturday was May Day, and May Day is celebrated almost entirely around the world as a holiday. The United States is one of a handful of countries that doesn't recognize May Day. We'll save that topic for another time.
Yes, yes, we will. We will not rat hole. We've had enough problems this evening.
Seattle has always had very significant May Day events. In 2020, there was no march. There was no direct action activity either. COVID essentially on May 1st had the entire area practically on lockdown at that time.
Yeah.
So there was really nothing that happened on May Day last year. In prior years, 2019, 2018, almost at the time, there have been thousands, if not tens of thousands of people that have shown up and marched through downtown Seattle. Typically, again, this draws thousands. May Day in Seattle typically has the Immigrants and Workers' Rights March first. And as that group kind of thins out, typically they march to Westlake. And then as that group kind of thins out, the insurrectionary anarchists start to kind of flow in. And then you have that chapter of the day. And in prior years, there's been pretty significant activity on both sides, on both organizations. And what we saw was some pretty subdued and muted compared to prior years. And Jennifer, I'm going to be real salty on one of these segments a little bit later, but we'll start with the good news.
Okay.
Or not.
By mid-afternoon,
before we get to our really amazing speakers that we have to you all today, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge this moment. The fact that it's been over a year where some of us have not gotten to share space.
I especially want to thank all of the organizers of this event for inviting me to share with you the role of Asian Pacific America in building this nation and reminding us that the struggles of today are not new, but rather have been experienced by every racial and ethnic group since the discovery of America. Our struggles are intertwined by racial animus and by perceptions of economic competition.
And I think this is so important to say in Chinatown in the U.S. today, because what they call anti-Asian hate, as this moment of Asian hate, is actually a long legacy of anti-labor, anti-immigrant.
I want actions. That's what I want. Not today, yesterday. Not today, yesterday. Ahora, no mañana.
Shit getting hard in the yard all summer. Throw the book at you, just hoping that you catch it. Police tearing down the block like Tetris. Lie about the metrics, riot in a second. Pepper spraying flashbangs, getting us arrested. We ain't going down, no, not like that. Word to Nana and Asada, yeah, we gon' fight back. Knocking down the empire till it can't strike back.
I love the Star Wars reference in that rap. I actually didn't catch it on the live. I caught it in editing. I'm like, that is just so amazing.
Yeah, so that looks pretty chill. There's kids, there's people like, being pretty chill, pretty peaceful, like having a little freaking music.
It was a much smaller group, Jennifer, than what I've gone to these marches.
Yeah.
Not as a journalist, but being involved in the marches. Of course, this was much smaller. King County Health was there passing out masks. I don't think they were actually really needed. The group got a little smaller. They bypassed Westlake and they went to the federal courthouse. And the reason that they went to the federal courthouse and set up there is because of all of the influence from the previous administration and how a lot of those rules are still in effect today and are impacting the immigrant population that is in our area. And if you don't think that is impacting you beyond they took our jobs, which they're not. Farmers are utterly struggling to find people to work in the fields because, oh, that's right. Yeah. Most of them are undocumented workers, but we don't like to talk about that part here in America.
Exactly. And that just doesn't, that's not just farmers. Like, too, I was talking yesterday in the our editorial meeting about like how this also fundamentally impacts horse racing, which I worked in for 20 plus years, because so much of that labor is done by I can't talk today. It is such a Monday. I'm so sorry. By undocumented labor. They're really reliant upon it to keep the industry going. And it's, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good event. Jennifer, you're going to have to keep me on topic. That's why you have my speaker notes, because I could just completely go off a cliff on this one here.
Okay.
So even though you're not on camera, you can yell at me and go, David, enough.
All right.
We've said many times on here, we support diversity of tactics. And we have said at times, just because we're showing it, doesn't mean that we agree with it. What happened on Saturday afternoon could be best called a Charlie Foxtrot. If you don't know what a Charlie Foxtrot is, go into Google and look it up. The first word is cluster, and the second word is... This is written. And yes, this is written to keep me on topic. So, who we call a Charlie Foxtrot. And you know what else you can call a Charlie Foxtrot, Jennifer? It looks like the printer actually ate a page of my fucking notes.
Okay. Well, I got the notes. So there were 14 arrested. Deblocking.
All right, I got it. I'm back on track.
Okay.
14 arrested.
Yeah.
Deblocking in the open in broad daylight. Like really in the open. Some people were deblocking by their cars. The event was advertised on social as supporting diversity of tactics and calling out bringing your friends and family. Now, I know if some people that were at that and set it up goes, on Twitter, it said it wasn't just on Twitter. It was out on Facebook and it was out on Instagram, and it did not have the small print on those channels. But wait, there's more. At least 2 independent journalists were flat out assaulted. And we have receipts. I'm going to roll the first clip. This one's tough to watch.
Right, shit's happening. Oh shit. On the ground. I didn't see him, sorry. They were moving too fast. Guess what? I'm on the sidewalk. I'm on the sidewalk. Oh! There you go, right there. for no reason. There's another one. There he goes again. I'm doing the talk. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm from here. Fuck you. I'm from here. I've been out of here every day.
Walk away from us. Walk away from us.
Your camera out of here.
For you.
Get your camera out of here.
But don't touch me. I am filming the cops.
Out of here, man.
I am filming
Now
the
you are a
cops.
danger to your community.
I'm not even fuck up. Apparently, I'm gonna get fucking harassed by you. Makes me question who you really are, actually.
So, Jennifer, I want to clarify for you and our audience. That's a completely unedited clip. You just saw the before, during, and after. Before anybody goes, you cut a part out. Because no, that was them flipping the camera from the front camera to the back camera as they were running up. That's what's going on because you can hear the click. And if you've ever watched streams, you hear the click when the camera switches around. And that's what was going on there. That individual, Jennifer, was doing exactly what block protesters have asked people to do since May 26. They were documenting the arrest. They were documenting police escalation because the police were grabbing the umbrellas and antagonizing the group that at that point had already given space to the police. They were assaulted. There's no candy coating what happened there on camera. That's assault. And they're afraid for their safety now, which is why they don't want to use their name. They targeted and allied any journalist. And you know what, Jennifer? We're not even to the worst of it. Because you know what the worst of it is?
I know. Well, I'll let you finish before I say anything.
They were filmed all day long by somebody within Block. Black Block Katie Davis Court was with them the whole freaking time. And guess what? She shared her video with Cairo News. Let's roll that clip.
By mid-afternoon, the vibe of this gathering started to change. Many of the original marchers left this demonstration, and in their place were folks who were much louder and much angrier.
This is the Seattle Police Department.
What followed was hours of tension with Seattle police. Tonight, SPD supplied us with these pictures showing some of the things that were thrown at them today. Things got especially intense in Cal Anderson Park. Following a standoff, police moved in, making more than a dozen arrests and ordering demonstrators to move along.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
And you know she has more video.
Of course she does, because she's a little troll. I'm sorry.
This
that was
is
rude.
not a criticism of protesters. This is not a criticism of diversity of tactics. Whoever organized Saturday has no business organizing for this group. They are the one who is dangerous, not the independent journalists who were doing what you asked them to do. They are the one, whoever organized that, is the person who's going to get people hurt. They got roughly 20% of their group arrested. This wouldn't have floated in the protest community all the way back to October. And I got a reminder here. This group has had 2 incidents where they were sitting around talking about and having like a debrief on how things went. 2 incidents where there was an infiltrator in their group that was filming everything. Everything. One of those videos wound up on Como. The other one was all over social about 10 days ago. And in the first debrief, Jennifer, one of the organizers or somebody there was explicitly criticizing the group for going to the waterfront that day, basically saying there are no exit points. There is nowhere for us to go. if Seattle police decides to kettle us. Now, Seattle police has never done a full-on kettling of protesters that I'm aware of from May 26, 2020 to date. What did they do? They went through Pike Place Market. And I'm not criticizing them for going through Pike Place Market, but there's no exit points there. And Seattle police, based on what we observed, were just looking for an excuse. And I am stunned that that group did not just get arrested when they were in there. Because if you were watching my stream, I had some very tense and terse words with Seattle police. It's going through there. And Jennifer, we have a third clip.
And so now basically what's happened is the speeches have stopped over here that was originally going on. This group has moved into the same intersection, and they're now being watched by the Seattle Police Department.
We apologize for this inconvenience. We would not be allowed, unfortunately, members of this group have committed multiple crimes this group may cause. Residents of Capitol Hill, come protect the neighborhood.
What they're chanting is all cops are Chauvin. This has been a common chant. So now what's going on is they're rolling out. There's that jump van. Remember earlier I was like, hey, there's a jump van. And there's that jump van. That was the one that I first saw that I was like, okay, something's going on. Because we've got a police jump van that's driving through. And so now what's happened is SPD, bike officers, and patrol officers, they have driven off. Down Stewart, heading west towards the water.
Hey! Okay, he's obstructing First Amendment rights. He's obstructing First Amendment rights. That person.
To the group on 4th Avenue, we want to thank you for cooperating with us in stopping committing criminal acts.
Just like the whole.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
The announcements are dystopian. It was just a total cluster, Jennifer. All of it was a cluster.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like, if you're gonna like D-block in broad daylight, like in the middle of the street, why are you so concerned about people filming? Like, are you concerned that they're going to divulge your identity and you want to do that yourself? Like, what's the whole issue here? But yet you'll let Katie Davis Court, affiliated with Turning Point USA, come in and film and not notice or care?
It's sus. It's flat out sus. Like nobody looked down. Like everyone knows their friggin' shoes. I could so just go down a hole on this for an hour, and I refuse to do it. I'm going to close with this, Jennifer. You know, instead of attacking allies or making baseless claims of people are fash, how about identifying the infiltrators that are inside your own group? Because quite frankly, it goes back to whoever organized this. You had a minimum of 4 infiltrators in that group based on the videos that you could just go out and find on social, which is 7 to 10% of the people that were there that day. This wouldn't have happened 6 months ago. This just flat out would not have happened. And if the Seattle Police Department pushed the protesters in block to the same intersection where the immigrants were having their speeches, shame on you. And if the people in block went to that intersection on purpose, shame on you. Because those are people that I thought you were supporting. Poor, exploited immigrants who are being exploited by capitalism, who came to this country to escape the shit shows that they're in. You ended their rally. They left. They packed up and left like that because they didn't want any part of what was going on. And I don't know if that was SPD or that was the organizers. Whoever did it, you're pieces of shit. How is that supporting the cause? Think about it. We're going to thank our patrons.